The late sun painted the parking lot in quiet gold as Keanu Reeves stepped off the curb, bag in hand, his thoughts distant. He felt it before he saw her, a soft tug at his jacket. A little girl, maybe 6, blonde, barefoot, trembling. Her voice came out as a whisper, barely formed, but clear. "She's not family." Keanu froze. She didn't look up, just kept her fingers clenched tight in his coat, eyes darting behind him. Then came the footsteps. A woman approached, smiling too fast. "There you are," she said, reaching for the girl. Keanu stepped slightly in front. "Is she okay?" The girl didn't flinch, didn't speak, just stared at the pavement. "She gets scared," the woman said, too smooth. "I'm her aunt." Keanu crouched beside the girl. "Do you want to go with her?" No answer. Just silence. Just breath. Just fear. But her eyes begged him not to let go. She didn't answer his question. Not really. The little girl's lips stayed sealed, but her knuckles whitened as they gripped his jacket. The woman tried to laugh, to ease the moment. "She's just nervous. Sophie does this, runs off, panics, freezes up. You know how kids are." Keanu's eyes never left the child. "I never said her name," he said quietly. The woman blinked. It was subtle, quick, but he caught it. "Didn't you?" she replied, forcing a smile. "Maybe I heard her say it." But Sophie hadn't said a word. Something shifted then. A cold flicker in Keanu's stomach. He wasn't imagining things. He had read reports before, cases that didn't get media coverage. Surveillance footage. Children being led away by women who smiled too easily. Their stories were always the same. She seemed familiar. She acted like family. And when questioned, she vanished. One father remembered her face, pale and calm. "She almost took my son," he had said, broken. Said she was his aunt. We believed her until he started crying in the car. Keanu had brushed it off then, like most people do with things that don't touch them. But now, looking at the girl in front of him, silent, trembling, it all felt too real. "Is she shy or scared?" Keanu asked evenly. The woman's voice thinned. "She's just overwhelmed. That's all." "Then why does she keep stepping away from you?" he asked, stepping back slightly. The girl's foot moved with his. Small, subtle, but clear. The woman noticed too. Her eyes narrowed. Her smile cracked, then reassembled. "Look, I appreciate your concern," she said, voice tight. "But we're going now." Keanu didn't move. He looked at the girl again. Her shoulders had curled in, her eyes wide and wet. "We should ask security," he said simply, calmly. "No need," she snapped. Her hand closed harder around the girl's wrist. Sophie flinched. Not a sound, just a sharp intake of breath. Narration. That's when the illusion began to fracture. Her sweetness was slipping, mask peeling under pressure. She was used to charm, to convincing people to look the other way. But this time someone didn't. The woman's voice dropped low. "We don't have time for this." Her words, no longer wrapped in politeness, cut like blades. Keanu stayed firm. "Then you won't mind us making sure everything's okay." The girl's eyes flicked to him, wide with silent hope. And in that look, Keanu saw it all. The truth, the fear, the plea. This wasn't a misunderstanding. This was a cry no one else had heard. Until now. The tension snapped the moment the woman yanked Sophie's arm and turned, dragging her away with force. Keanu didn't hesitate. He stepped in front of them, blocking her path. "Let her go," he said, voice low but unyielding. The woman's smile vanished entirely now. Her hand gripped Sophie's wrist like a clamp, knuckles pale. "Get out of my way," she hissed. "She's coming with me." Keanu didn't flinch. She asked for help. That was all he said. Simple, undeniable. That's when the scream came. "He's attacking me," she shouted, twisting the scene. Heads turned in the parking lot. A few people paused, unsure. Keanu didn't move, didn't shout back. He simply raised his phone to his ear. 911, I have a child abduction in progress. Market Plaza. The suspect is trying to flee. Sophie's eyes darted to him, lips trembling. Her voice cracked as she whispered, barely audible. "Don't let her take me." Keanu looked directly into the woman's eyes. "You're not taking her anywhere." The woman's entire posture changed. She dropped the pretense. No more sweetness. Just fury. She shoved Sophie behind her and tried to push past Keanu. He stood his ground. She spat. "You don't know what you're doing." He answered, calm and cold. "I know exactly what I'm doing." Narration. This wasn't about celebrity. It wasn't about drama. It was about standing still when most would step aside. About listening when silence screams louder than words. Then she bolted. Twisting around Keanu, she ran between the rows of parked cars, disappearing into the maze of metal and shadows. Keanu grabbed Sophie's hand and ran after her, fast and focused. That's when the scream sliced through the chaos. "Sophie!" Keanu froze. Sophie's head snapped toward the voice. A woman, barefoot, wild-eyed, raced into the lot, scanning frantically. Sophie gasped, "Mommy!" and Keanu let go. The girl sprinted to her mother, colliding into her arms with a sob that broke the air. They collapsed to the pavement, clutching each other in shaking silence. The woman, the fake aunt, had stopped running. She stood frozen, watching the reunion. Her mask had fallen completely now. No more escape, no more performance. Just exposure. Keanu stepped between her and the road. She met his gaze, eyes hard. "You just made a huge mistake," she said, voice filled with venom. Keanu's reply was calm, final. "No. You did, when you thought no one would see." And then came the sound that ended everything. Police sirens, howling toward justice. The sirens grew louder as the woman backed away slowly. But it was too late. Police vehicles surged into the parking lot, tires screeching against asphalt. Officers leapt out, surrounding her. Her expression flickered, rage, then panic, then hollow defeat. She didn't resist. She didn't speak. They cuffed her in silence, pushing her into the back of a cruiser. Keanu stood nearby, arms folded, watching as the threat finally disappeared behind tinted glass. One officer turned to him. "We've been looking for her. She's tied to other disappearances. No one's ever been able to catch her until now." Narration. She had slipped through the cracks for years. A system designed to protect had watched her vanish, over and over. It took someone refusing to look away, someone listening to a whisper instead of waiting for a scream. Keanu gave his statement, clear and focused, every detail committed to memory. When it was over, he stepped aside. The lot quieted. The adrenaline faded into evening hush. Later, behind a wall of glass, the woman sat alone. Her name was off the trending tabs. The guards didn't look at her. No one did. Her power had always lived in shadows, in people's hesitation. Now, stripped of that, she was just another forgotten face. Her practiced smile gone. Sophie was safe. Her mother sat with her on a bench outside the store, brushing the girl's hair back gently, whispering thanks to no one in particular. A crumpled pack of tissues lay at her feet. She scrolled through old baby photos on her phone, trembling. Each one of Sophie laughing, running, breathing, suddenly sacred. Inside the police station hours later, Sophie sat at a desk with crayons. She didn't draw the woman. She didn't draw the fear. She drew three figures, herself, her mom, and Keanu. Between her and the kidnapper, she had drawn a tall shadow, protective and steady. Across the bottom, she had written one word in block letters: help. Narration. It wasn't about heroism. Not really. It was about standing still when someone needed you to. About believing fear without needing proof. Sometimes, it's not the shout that saves a life. It's the whisper that someone finally heard. As the officers prepared to escort them home, Sophie walked up to Keanu, small fingers tugging at his sleeve again. She looked up shyly. "Thank you, Mr. Keanu." He knelt to her level, smiling softly. "The world needs more brave girls like you." She smiled back, this time without fear. The story didn't end with sirens. It ended with dignity reclaimed, and silence that spoke louder than anything else.